Alright guys, UFC 320 has just come to a close and it was a very good pay-per-view. We have to break down all of the best fights on the card and also give out my fight card awards. Now, went literally down the middle on this card, went 7 out of 14. There were some trip-ups like the patchy mixed decision, didn't really agree with, and there were some big upsets as well, obviously, with the main event for starters, which we will get into, but I will say the card overall was definitely entertaining. There was 8 out of 14 finishes, so over half as a percentage for pay-per-views. That's very, very good. And even the fights that went to decision, like the co-main event, which we'll also get into between Merab and Cory, was very entertaining, even though there wasn't a finish. So I think, honestly, 8, 9 out of 10 for me for this pay-per-view. But let's get into the meat of it. We have got the main event. We have got Magomed Ankalaev versus Alex Pereira, and I am going to cop it on the chin here. Straight up, I did think that Ankalaev would win, and I was confident that he would win, to be honest, and I'm taking that on the chin, because Ankalaev, through that first fight, he pitched a shutout, basically. I mean, he had him pressing on the back foot the entire time, mixed up his shots incredibly well, does have the better strike speed as well, but Alex Pereira, as I also said in the hot take video that I made for this fight, he made the necessary adjustments, the perfect adjustments to get the win. And by forward pressuring and utilizing a more leg kick heavy game straight out the gates, he would win this fight, and he did it perfectly. Absolutely perfectly. He's getting my finish of the night award here without a doubt. We only have about 40 seconds of the fight to break down, and Alex Pereira jumps straight into the fight, through a 1-2 straight down the pipe, backed Ankalaev up, because you could tell instantly he's like, I do not want to be on the back foot against Ankalaev, because 23 out of 25 minutes in their first fight, he was, and we saw how that worked. He pretty much got beaten every single round and almost KO'd in the second round of their last fight. And Alex Pereira, as a 3-1 underdog, fantastic job. Pushing forward, just did not allow Ankalaev to breathe. Ankalaev could not reset properly. Pereira was just chewing up the legs, couldn't let him reset with the feet, and then threw that beautiful overhand over the top, passed through Ankalaev's guard, right on the side of the head, right around the temple, really wobbled him, and then Ankalaev really just shot down for the double leg, tried to even snatch a leg. Pereira just used his weight straight on top of him and then just started pounding down with ground and pound with the elbows. And when it came to the stoppage, I mean, people I have seen argue that it was a pretty early stoppage. Personally, I wouldn't say so. I mean, Ankalaev, for one, he was completely protecting himself with his hands, but he wasn't advancing his position to move anywhere. So I think it was a pretty good stoppage overall. Otherwise, nothing really would have changed. He wasn't moving to the point where the ref pulled him off, and if you're not doing that, I mean, the same thing's just going to be happening, isn't it? So he just saved Ankalaev a few brain cells, but Alex Pereira, I mean, he literally just had a fairy tale ending. At 38 years old, going through the adversity of losing the belt, like by a very, very dominant win by Ankalaev in the first fight, to taking it back in like a minute, less than a minute, by KO TKO. Honestly, perfect performance from him. And it's time for him to be fighting Carlos Ulberg next. Carlos Ulberg is 100% next. We saw what he did against Dominic Reyes. He's on like an 8-9 fight win streak now. He is 100% deserved of this matchup. And it's going to be so interesting, especially with both of these guys in orthodox with their lead left hands. Both of them, their most dangerous weapon is their lead left hand. So it's going to be very fascinating to see how Alex Pereira deals with this strike speed of Carlos Ulberg, and to see, especially with this Alex Pereira just being newly formed now and really pressuring heavily and seeing how much success he's getting, seeing how Carlos Ulberg will deal with that forward pressure from Alex Pereira. So I want to see that booked for, honestly, probably next year, February, on a pay-per-view then. Neither of them took any damage. Could book that real quick. Alex Pereira isn't getting any younger. However, he did break his toe. He's broken his toe in this fight, so he's going to need a little bit of time off. Not a massive injury, but could be around February or March we could be getting that fight for a light heavyweight title fight. That's the only one that really needs to be made, but ultimately a fantastic performance for Alex Poatan Pereira. Sharma. And moving on from the main event, we had the co-main event, the bantamweight title fight between Merab Dvalishvili and Cory Sandhagen. Now, unlike the hot take I made for the main event, this hot take went through perfectly, predicted it perfectly. I thought Cory would be able to win the first round, stuffing the takedowns effectively and landing cleaner shots, which he did. And then from there, Merab just Merab'd. He absolutely annihilated Cory, almost knocked him out in the second round, just a great flurry of strikes. But Merab, this guy is just a freak. Like, he's just so dominant. There's not really any holes in his game that is shown. He ate some clean shots from Cory in the third to the fourth round, and he just ate them. He just ate them completely. He's never been chinned in his career. We can see why. His chin is there. His recovery is great. His wrestling at all angles is fantastic. He did a great job of chain wrestling when he had Cory's back, just moving from position to position. His judo-based trips were disgusting. His inside trips, just tripping Cory off his base a million times. He's gotten over 110 takedowns in the UFC now. There's so many good things we can say about Merab in this fight. Just honestly clearly painted a picture that he is the GOAT of bantamweight now. Without a doubt. Him first. I'd say Dom Cruz second. Aljo third. Like, Merab is just so clear. He dominated Cory. I think 49-45 was the right decision from the judges. I think judges got it extremely accurate on this one. 49-45. First round, Cory took it 10-9. Second round, 10-8 to Merab. Then 10-9, 10-9, 10-9 through rounds 3, 4, and 5 for Merab Dvalishvili. Just the timing on his strikes. I mean, I said this in my predictions, breaking down his fights with Umar Nurmagomedov and Sean O'Malley. Just the timing on his straight right, so clean. Tagged Cory multiple times with that. Cory just didn't have answers for the wrestling ultimately, and he didn't allow Cory to get into a position where he could exchange 50-50, where he could try and find like a leg lock or anything like that. Merab was never giving him that position. Rode the back so many times, just so many knees to the hamstrings, knees up to the body, was landing clean shots. The guy just honestly had a fantastic performance. I mean, aside from it being not being a flawless performance from the first round of Cory, and arguably you could give Cory like the fourth round from landing some pretty clean shots, but yeah, ultimately, Merab, bantamweight GOAT. The next fight for him is Petr Yan. He wants December. They could honestly make December. Merab is going to be the fighter of the year without a doubt. Like, it's crazy if you think he's not. Like, he's had 3 wins. He's had Umar in January. He had Sean O'Malley at UFC 316, and now he has had Cory Sandhagen at UFC 320. Next fight to make for Merab is Petr Yan. Yan is on a 3-fight win streak at the moment. He also fought Marcus McGee, who's like 11th ranked, and won that fight. So Yan definitely deserves to be given that opportunity. And I think you can make that for December, honestly. I don't really see it going much differently, to be honest, unless Yan can just find the clean shot. That's what it's all about, just finding the clean shot against Merab, but it's obviously a massive if. And Cory Sandhagen on the other side, I would honestly say, I mean, win or lose from this fight, you just make Cory Sandhagen versus Sean O'Malley. Everyone's mum's, nan's fucking dog wants that fight. I want that fight. Cory versus O'Malley, book it. Take my money. Simple as that. Book it for the start of next year at some time. Fight night headliner or pay-per-view co-main event. I think that's just what we need, plain and simple. Now, moving on to our pretty clear fight of the night award, it's going to be Jiri Prochazka versus Khalil Rountree. Now, I did take Khalil Rountree in this fight. I did think he would be quicker to the punch. He would be able to close that distance effectively and take Jiri out from being too unorthodox and just clipping him, which Khalil was doing in round 1 very, very well. He was definitely taking that first round much faster than Jiri. Jiri was eating a lot of great shots. His chin is still there after those Alex Pereira losses. I mean, his chin was fantastic in this fight. Jiri did a fantastic job of actually staying patient, not allowing those leg kicks to get to him, which I will say I think Khalil could have used a lot more leg kicks in this fight. But Khalil, honestly, he did have a great performance, even though he did get knocked out in that third round. But the thing that just absolutely shocked me at the start of that third round is how quickly Khalil's gas tank just fell off a fucking cliff. And from that, it's not necessarily his tank. Looking back at it, it's obviously Jiri's teeps to the bodies, his shots to the body overall from the second to the third round was just paying dividends into that third round where Jiri got the finish. Pretty much, I mean, clear fight of the night, the volume on both sides. Khalil was hurting Jiri, Jiri was hurting Khalil, but Jiri just dogged it out. Understandably, being a favorite, I mean, I did have Khalil, but it was honestly neck and neck between these guys realistically. I mean, Khalil is the faster guy and ultimately I think more dangerous on the feet than Jiri, but Jiri just had such a smart game. Considering the guy that Jiri is, I was very impressed. Had a fantastic performance, really just weathered that storm in the first round, got through to the second, through to the third, won both of those rounds, and took the fight. Fantastic performance. Jiri Prochazka, he needs to be fighting Magomed Ankalaev now. I think it makes so much sense that those guys are going to fight since Ankalaev lost, and it's going to be really interesting to see Jiri's unorthodox style against Ankalaev, who is very fast with his hand speed as well, similar to a guy like Khalil. And we can see if Jiri has the same outcome and can beat Ankalaev. So definitely a great performance there. And Khalil Rountree, I think for him, I mean, you've got a number of fighters that he could honestly fight. Khalil's just a household name. He makes any fight entertaining because he doesn't shoot for takedowns, which he could have in this fight. Would have been very handy for him. But Khalil, I think he could fight, honestly, Azamat Murzakanov next. I think Azamat Murzakanov does get through Alexander Rakic, and I think going through that 16-0 for Azamat Murzakanov, being a shorter, stockier, faster boxer against Khalil, who's pretty much the same, that makes for a very entertaining fight. So I want to see these fights booked around, honestly, early to mid next year. Now, moving on to the Performance of the Night award, which can be controversial because you can give it to Pereira, you can give it to Merab, you can give it to a number of people on this card. But in terms of just overall flawlessness, I got to give it to Youssef Zalal. Youssef Zalal completely nullified any power that was coming his way from Josh Emmett. And Josh Emmett definitely destroyed a lot of multis, including mine, because he was a 5-1 dog. And if it stayed on the feet, you never know what could have happened, but Youssef did the perfect thing in timing the flurry of Josh Emmett to take his hips and just fling him to the ground. Fling him to the ground, get that armbar finish for a verbal tap out from Josh Emmett. Just a crystal clear, perfect performance for Youssef Zalal. He has to get Performance of the Night, took absolutely no damage, fought one of the most dangerous guys pound for pound that you can fight in general in MMA, and is now on an 8-fight damn win streak after getting cut. Like, Zalal is just making himself known. He is looking incredible, and I want to see him versus Arnold Allen. I think Arnold Allen needs to be fighting down because he hasn't fought in about 28 years, and we need to see Zalal fighting up the rankings now. We need to see him proper single-digit fights, and I think Allen does pose some interesting challenges for Youssef Zalal because Allen is hyper aggressive, very good at pushing the pace, has a ground game as well, is just well-rounded in general, and Zalal still needs to show those improvements on the back foot. We need to see those improvements because that's the only identifiable hole that I can see here, and that's why I thought Josh Emmett would be able to beat him, to be honest. But Youssef Zalal, honestly, with the way that he is performing, I think that he does have the ability, especially on the ground, to beat pretty much anyone in that division. So I'm very keen to see that fight against Allen. Possibly, honestly, I'd say early next year because he's taken no damage and Allen just really needs a fight. Now, moving on to our Upset of the Night award, which you can definitely give to someone like Alex Pereira as a 3-1 underdog, but someone that I thought was more impressive in that sense as being an underdog is Ramiz Brahimaj as a 4-1 underdog. Was really counted out against Austin Vanderford. Saw a lot of comments that Ramiz would just get absolutely ragdolled by the wrestling and taken out. I mean, to be fair, in that first round early on, the control from Vanderford was pretty good. But Brahimaj, the guy, honestly, has submissions from awkward positions that he can get. He's got like 10 submissions to his name, and he also has hands now. He's really improved with his hands, had nice straight shots in this fight, and also is on a 3-fight finish streak at the moment. So as a 4-1 underdog, it was just a clean upset of the night to win here, and I was very happy that it was in my bet slip. Now, I do think he needs a more just challenging fighter to face that's going to be just a killer on the feet. I think that's what he's going to need. And I think Uros Medic is a good fighter to take on, because Uros Medic, he's a guy that doesn't have much of a ground game, but he's got a lot of power in his hands, and he's kind of kill or be killed in that sense. And Ramiz Brahimaj, he does have the option to out him with the grappling, but if he really wants that test on the feet, Uros Medic is the guy to give it to him. And I think Brahimaj, with the way he's performing on the feet, he's looking pretty dangerous moving up those welterweight rankings. So book that for early next year. And finally, moving on to our Fighter to Watch award, I got to give it to Ateba Gautier. Absolutely destroyed Tristan Vines in this fight. Wasn't a surprise. I mean, Vines was trying to get that name for himself in the UFC on short notice. The worst opponent he could have done it against, but if he got it done, I mean, you know, that skyrockets him. But Ateba Gautier, he's on an 8-fight KO streak. He's just a beast. He is literally the middleweight Francis Ngannou. He is 23 years old. He has got so much time. He is going to make it into the top 15 at some point. No doubt about that, as long as nothing goes wrong, obviously. And yeah, he needs to be pushed up the rankings a fair bit. And I do think that him versus Torres Finney is a fantastic fight, because Torres Finney is a guy that is not gaining a lot of respect from the MMA space. He just loves his wrestling. He tries to control the fight with that wrestling. Ateba Gautier is a bitch of a thing to try and get down, which, I mean, Vines really struggled to do so, got caught with the knee as well and then taken out. And Torres Finney, he needs to show that he's improved his striking, otherwise he's going to get cut from the UFC whether he's winning or not. And Ateba Gautier, if he can actually manage to strike with him, I mean, and beat Ateba Gautier, Torres Finney has a complete out there to get so far away from being cut from the UFC. High risk, high reward, but I think that that is a great fight to take for the both of them. See if Ateba Gautier can stop the wrestling of Finney as well, and then see if Finney can actually deal with the striking there. But ultimately, that is the recap for the UFC 320 pay-per-view. I really hope you enjoyed the card, and if you haven't already, definitely just check out the video here on the screen, and please like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one.